G'day, I'm Barb and this is The Font, where I talk about books that you might quite like because they are really quite good. It is December and it is too busy and too hot in Sydney to even contemplate serious literature. So this week we're doing Murder Mystery Week at The Font. Also, I was all lined up to do a bunch of reviews and I forgot that it's Costa season. The Costa Awards are for books that are popular and have wide appeal. The categories I'm interested in are fiction and debut fiction. And there are 4 shortlisted in each category, which means 8 books I have to get through by January. The winners will be announced on the 4th of January. So let's do it. I'll have the fiction category reviews next episode, and then we'll work our way through the debut novels. It just so happens that The Less Dead by Denise Mina is a crime novel that is on the Costa Fiction shortlist. It's a thriller, murder mystery, and Denise is a well-known and truly established crime writer. I downloaded the book and now I have a toilet paper roll of recommendations on my Kindle. This one is a standalone, so you do not have to worry about reading volumes of sequels. The plot is quite interesting because with genre fiction, you really want to see a bit of innovation, something that makes it stand out. Margot Dunlop is a doctor whose adoptive mother has recently died and she wants to make contact with her birth family. Now, unfortunately, her mother, Susan, is dead, and she was a junkie prostitute with an attitude who had Margot at the tender age of 19. She finds that she has an aunt, Nikki, who's pretty rough, who is also an ex-junkie prostitute. Nikki tells Margot that her mother was murdered by an ex-cop, lowlife called Martin McPhail. And she wants Margot to help her to get him convicted for murdering Susan, her sister. The main theme of the book is justice to forgotten victims like Susan, prostitutes and junkies that polite society disregards. That's where the name of the book comes from. These women are called the Less Dead. But it's more complicated than just nailing this perp because Nikki and Margot receive threatening letters from Susan's murderer. Or is it a copycat? Someone that knew how Susan died and has souvenirs from the murder is watching Margot and sending hate mail. See, I think that's a very good premise. I think that's a good set of bones to hold up the book. But then the author adds a layer of complication which waters down the action to my mind. Margot is pregnant and has dumped her nice but impractical boyfriend Joe. Joe has a half-brother called Richard who is a violent ex-boyfriend of Margot's best friend Lila. That complication muddies the main story to my mind. Those characters are never really developed. The book ends rather abruptly, like I said, is this finished already? I felt I wanted more suspense and more focus on the dastardly motivations of the murderer. I'm not sure how this book meandered onto the Costa shortlist, but I'm telling you now it's not going to win. I've read another 2 books in this category and it's not going to win. But The Font rewards you with an air horn salute. Another newish release from an established crime writer is The Searcher by Tana French. This is her 8th crime novel. Now, am I right in saying that The Witch Elm is a popular one of hers? Because I don't really read crime. But go ahead and tell me which of her novels is the very best in the comments if you feel like sharing and caring. The setting of this book is really lovely. Look, it's set in a remote village in rural Ireland. It's got sheep and quirky locals, and it's meant to be a place of escape for the main character, a cop named Cal Hooper. Cal has taken an early retirement from the Chicago police. His personal life is a bit of a quiet mess, and he just wants to withdraw to renovating his rundown house and doing some fishing and doing some hunting. But he finds himself getting pestered by a local kid named Trey. Trey's brother has gone missing. This missing boy, a 19-year-old named Brendan Reddy, has disappeared and no one is doing anything to find him. In that way, the story is not dissimilar to The Less Dead. The Reddies are poor and they're easily forgotten, and Brendan has fallen through the gaps, and someone needs to find the truth. I found the book endearing. The book is primarily about solving the mystery of a missing teen, but it also is about Cal moving on with his life, opening himself up to new possibilities and healing. And it's about poor wee Trey, who needs a father figure and needs to know about what happened to the brother. It's got good themes, nice themes. And as a character, Cal is well-rounded. It is interesting for me to find a washed-up cop from Chicago and Ireland, and it makes for an interesting culture contrast. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I would have given it 5, but it was just a smudge slow to my taste. It's not a criticism, it's more my own personal taste. But, you know, I did find myself like this, reading and, like that, reading it like that. It was a smudge slow to my taste. Like, I'm not mad at it, like I'd recommend it for sure. But just for shits and giggles, and having something for everyone, I read Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. That book was published in 1934. My son assures me that that is much older than me. Older than that is Stonehenge. It's pretty old. Now, how does it stack up against the newbies on the block? Well, very freaking well, thank you very much for asking. The plot goes like this. A murder happens on the luxurious Orient Express. A fellow is stabbed 12 times. The train has been caught in a snowdrift. No one has entered or exited the train, and the victim's compartment is locked on the inside. It has to be someone on the train, and there's a fair few passages on there. This book is the gold standard for whodunits. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, right up until the big reveal at the end. No one seemed like they had the opportunity or the temerity to do the murder. Mon Dieu! Who would do such a thing? The book is never tired or predictable. There are clues that are tricky. The characters are vivid and diverse, like Princess Dragomirna. I don't know. I think it's Dragomirnov. And Colonel Arbuthnot, very English. And Hercule Poirot, he's so level-headed and unassuming. He anchors what really is a lot of information for the reader, so it is so very, very satisfying at the end. Awesome, satisfying read. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. 5 stars! Well, that's it for another week. Now just remember, not everything has to be Dostoevsky all the time. It's totes okay to read a bit of genre fiction and have some fun. It's all about balance.
2 shots of vodka.
See me next time, and we will do some Costa reviews. It will be so much fun.